Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vicki Chats podcast. It's such a joy to have you there. I have a very special guest in the studio with me again today for episode number 6, Norm Johnson. When most people hear YMCA, they think of a gym, but the family YMCA of Black Hawk County is so much more, from infant care and preschool programs to youth sports, aquatics, wellness initiatives, camps, community outreach, and programs for older adults. The YMCA touches lives at every stage of life. Welcome back to the Community Pulse, the YMCA Series. Every third Tuesday at 2, Executive Director Norm Johnson joins us to share the programs, partnerships, and people making a difference throughout Black Hawk County. Now, this month, we'll spotlight the incredible variety of opportunities available through the Y, including early childhood education, school-age care, youth sports, aquatics, healthy living programs, and community outreach initiatives. We'll also get an update on preparations for the Black Hawk County Families YMCA's 3rd Annual Triathlon coming September 13th at George Wyth State Park. Whether you're a parent, grandparent, athlete, volunteer, or someone simply looking to connect with others, there's a place for you at the Black Hawk County Family YMCA. And today we will explore why. Welcome, Norm.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate having me again.
Of course, my pleasure and always an honor. So tell me, what's the biggest misconception people have about the YMCA today?
Well, I think, I think people certainly recognize that we do a lot with health and fitness. They see us as a gym and swim, but they do forget about some of the other programs that we have, such as childcare, such as some of our community integrated health programming, such as before and after school programs. Some of the other community outreach that we have the opportunity to do, and recognize that we are a Y without walls. So we do a lot of these programs outside of the YMCA into the community for that full community integration.
Nice. I love it. So if somebody walked into the Y for the very first time, what would you hope they notice immediately?
Well, hopefully they notice right away that we have a very large community gathering space called our lobby.
Yes.
And again, that's where we build relationships.
Right.
That's where we may have a cup of coffee. We meet new people, or we say hi to old friends. That's, to me, that's one of they hopefully see it's bright, it's open, it's very engaging, and very welcoming.
Very welcoming. And during a typical week, Norm, when YMCA programs, which one of the YMCA programs or areas brings you the most unexpected joy?
Well, I would say we'll take, because we have day camps going on so heavily now, is every day having a chance to visit a little bit with the littles, from 5 and 6-year-olds to 12-year-olds. Seeing what they're up to. They're always happy to share what they're doing. They're happy to show maybe a piece of artwork or play catch or whatever it may be. So those are definitely highlight moments of the day.
I love it. And you've worked with children, families, seniors, athletes, and volunteers. Which group teaches you the most?
Oh, golly. That I learned something from every single one of those groups. And I think that's I think that's humbling at the same time. When, the second you think you know a lot about something, life says, "Hey, hold my beer," because you will find out something sideways or something more, or just recognizing that everybody's different and how we connect on those things. So I enjoy every one of those entities and working with those relationships.
So what's one YMCA success story from this year that still sticks with you?
Oh, gosh. I would say we had a family that had bringing a young person in for preschool for the first time. And without a doubt, that child, it was first time being in childcare. And we're talking, it was trauma of trying to get them to say goodbye to mom or dad, and leaving them, and being scared, and tears, and maybe some small tantrums, and to the fact to see that child come in today, kind of push mom and dad to the side. All right, I'm here. We're good. I'll see you later. Bye.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Those are to me, those are really cool good things that we were able to represent.
I love that. So, if you could spend a day participating in YMCA programs instead of running them, what would your schedule look like?
Well, it'd certainly have a lot of health and fitness. I think that'd be great. I would, and again, from some cardio stuff to some strength stuff, that would be a big part of it. I would be one of the people maybe sitting at the table, maybe having a cup of coffee or having some water and just hearing the stories and sharing stories. Those things are pretty awesome. Getting involved in our youth sports or whatever program happened to be going on at that time. Helping with that and being a part of that.
I love that.
Certainly our child care center. Again, I'm blessed where all of those things are pretty important to me at the YMCA, even jumping in and doing a swim lesson with the kids.
There you go.
So I think all of those are fun.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So what's the most rewarding part of seeing a child grow up through YMCA programs?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to me that we give those opportunities where we're all lifelong learners, but kids learn as lifelong learners early on, that we're modeling the character values.
Yes.
We're modeling healthy eating, healthy activities.
Yes.
We're modeling friendships and how to share and all of those pieces that we do, that those to me, when I ask about somebody and their Y experience and somebody says, I remember the Y 30 years ago and this is what happened and that would happen. It's usually a story about how somebody made them feel versus a story about, hey, I lost 20 pounds at the Y doing this and doing that and so forth. The outcomes are always more personal. And I think that's the great part about the YMCA.
Yes, absolutely. And what surprises you most about the needs families are facing today compared to 10 years ago?
Oh, yeah, I think there's the schedules, how scheduled families are. Just the, when families are taking a second to be in the pool together, to maybe be in the gymnasium together, to be in a sports activity together where it's not quite as scheduled, but they're taking time to play together, to listen together. Those are, those really warm my heart. I think those are, again, it makes me feel like we're doing what we need to be doing.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And what is something the YMCA offers that you wish more people knew about?
Yeah, I think slowly people are recognizing what we do, but our community integrated health programming has been around for, I've been in the Y for a little more than 30 years, and it's been around since then. So, our diabetes prevention programming, and we recognize the challenges our country has and certainly our state has and our community has with diabetes. But, other programs like self-monitoring blood pressure, we recognize that we have opportunities to help with that. Our Live Strong Cancer Survive program is a program that we have. It's a 12-week program. And again, these programs typically are free for all of our community members to take part of. We are getting ready to work with a delay the disease programming in both Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. And as we look at people that are facing a little bit of those challenges in dementia or whatever that may be, here's some support groups, here's some pieces that will at least help you combat a little bit, that will help bring some cognitive stability to what you're trying to do. And I think those are all really positive things. Certainly swim lessons and nutrition and those pieces, they all kind of tie in together. So there are so many side ways to look at what we're doing for health.
Right. And, many people know the YMCA for fitness, but childcare is a major part of your mission. Tell us about your Early Learning Center and the impact it has on working families.
Yeah, I think, the board of directors and really the community of the Waterloo, Cedar Falls areas recognize that childcare is still one of the top two needs in the Cedar Valley, and recognizing that when we give a safe, secure place for children to be involved in our programs, but we also allow mom and dad to finish their education, to continue their work.
Right.
And so our programs from infant all the way up through the preschool, I think, is really a community value. Where our kids are learning all kinds of activities, from arts and crafts to getting ready to, how we're, saying our letters and how we're counting.
Right.
We're small prep into getting them ready for kindergarten and for their school careers. Certainly the moving and health and fitness side. And we're able to model really good behavior. And one of my favorite quote is, healthy aging does not start at 55. Healthy aging starts right early on. And so we're giving those youth those really good models, those good introductions into what we're doing out there. And I think that's really important.
And the YMCA serves children as young as 6 weeks of age.
Yeah.
So why is investing in early childhood development so important?
Well, again, I think as we look at healthy behaviors and growing up, those infant years, those early learning years are incredibly important, that they're maturing at a rate, they're being introduced to pieces early on that they may, that will involve them into school, and they'll have some success early on. And there's statistics and research showing that if somebody's been in a program through that, they have greater success in school. They have greater success with interaction with teachers, greater success with interaction with kids. They're coachable. They're better listeners. So, there's a whole slew of things we can talk about in that. But hopefully, kids are recognizing that they're accepted for who they are. That they have to listen, but everybody is unique. They're making unique friendships for all those areas, and those are some of the pickups that we hopefully that we're implementing in our early learning center.
Exactly. So swimming is not only a recreation skill, but a life-saving skill. Why are aquatics programs such an important part of the YMCA mission?
Yeah, we recognize that drowning is the leading cause of death for children under 8, accidental death.
Yes.
And it's the second leading cause of accidental death for children under 17. And so you start looking at those stats, and that's really tough to see. And then there's new stats that have come out here in the last couple of years where it is the leading cause of death for seniors 65 and over for accidental death. And so recognizing that not only are you learning a lifelong activity, but it's a life-saving skill that you're learning. That in our swim lessons, even in our Learn to Swim programs, that if we know that if we can keep you to float, that if you can kick over, if you can do some things and be up in the water for 30 plus seconds, your chances of survival or rescue astronomically climb. So that's one avenue of it. And then again, that you feel comfortable, that you're able to go to a pool and have fun, go to a lake, enjoy what the state of Iowa has to have all over. And, again, those are the pieces that we think are super important as we look at our aquatics in our YMCA.
Right. And financial assistance is available through the Y. How important is it that cost never becomes a barrier to participation?
Well, I think it's incredibly important.
Yes.
I think those are avenues that's what sets us apart. It's part of why we're a nonprofit. It's part of our storytelling. I'm really open about sharing that's how I grew up. That's how I was engaged in the Y is early on. Our parents went and looked for swim lessons for my brother and I.
Nice.
And so we were scholarship kids early on. Here's the cool thing. I didn't know it until after I was out of high school that's what we were. And again, as I say that, it's important to me that we continue that nobody knows who's on financial assistance, who's not on financial assistance. We don't care, but we are truly here for all.
Exactly.
And I think that is, again, those are proud pieces of what we do when we talk about financial assistance. We subsidize in childcare and membership, in sports and aquatics, close to $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really proud of what we're able to do on that.
Right. And community outreach is one of the YMCA's pillars. Can you share some ways the YMCA helps address challenges facing Black Hawk County?
Well, again, I talked a little bit about that community integrated health. We
Yes.
recognize that cancer is it's climbed up where number one in the United States for cases of cancer now. And that's not a badge of honor. So how can we help find more prevention? How can we help people live with that stronger? Obesity and movement, all those type of things are really important. Social isolation, and probably most of us didn't know what social isolation was until 2020 and COVID hit, and then we have a really good idea what social isolation is. And so recognize that we are still a place where people can come, they can visit, they feel welcomed. It's intergenerational, and there's no judging in here. We truly are welcoming for everyone.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the triathlon. The Black Hawk County YMCA's third annual triathlon returns September 13th to George Wyth State Park. And what makes this event such a standout community experience?
Well, I think, again, it's bringing a really high quality triathlon event into the Cedar Valley. Triathlon has been on the up climb for a number of years, and it tends to be, man, if you ask somebody about a bucket list, that's probably one of the top 3 bucket lists for a lot of people.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I think the sprint triathlon was the perfect way to do this. We're not asking you to do an Ironman.
Right.
It's attainable. So, if you look at any triathlon, you're going to have a strength, whether it's swimming or it's biking or running. And then, so great, you have a strength, you can continue to develop that. But I think it's like life. If we look at how do I improve myself? Well, it's not always working on my strengths. It's how do I work on some of my shortcomings or challenges and, address those a little bit more. And I think there's such a great sense of pride of accomplishing something that whether it's your first time or your 100th time, that you are you're trying to be a little bit better on that. So I think it's an important part of our programming.
I love it. And individual and relay options are available. So why was it important to offer multiple ways for people to participate?
Yeah, I think, again, it shows that everybody's got a strength in one of those, or they have a stronger side. But there are people that that maybe have just extremes where, hey, I can't swim, or I can't bike, or I can't run, or I absolutely, that's going to be the one thing that's always keeping me out. And, so that's one avenue of it. I also think it's a kind of a cool camaraderie thing that I'm talking to a couple people and it's like, well, I would do that. Well, I would do this. Well, you know what? Let's do this together now. Let's kind of have some fun when we do that. So
I love that.
I think that we're seeing that the teams really start to elevate to go through that. And so I think that, there's nothing better than being part of a team, than cheering each other on,
there you go,
that having some fun with it too. And, nobody's mad when you're in a triathlon. I love that part too.
Nobody's mad. For someone hearing triathlon and instantly feeling intimidated, what would you say to calm those fears?
One step at a time. Hey, there should be no reason to be intimidated to go through this stuff. It's nobody went out and hit a home run their very first pitch. Nobody's ever perfected anything through his time. So again, just recognize that, whether it's your beginners, you go through that stuff, great. Find a pace, maybe get a little coaching ahead of time. We have great triathlon coaching classes that happen ahead of that. Find a training buddy, try and find a partner. Those are, identify goals. Those are all important things as you're addressing. It's no different addressing any of your health and fitness needs. Come up with a bit of a plan as we go through that.
There you go. And beyond physical fitness, Norm, what emotional or mental benefits do participants often gain while training for an event like this?
I think, I go to confidence. I go to leadership. I think I think there's some empathy going into those type of things. And if somebody has never done it before, and I mean, it's easy for us to sit on a couch, or watch a sport or watch an event or do something from the sidelines and think, well, I would have done this and I would have done that. Well, there's probably now a little more clarity of how this actually happens. So I think that those are some of those pieces. I think there's a lot of pride, and no matter if you finish last or if you finish first, the fact that you finished, or even if you didn't finish, hey, you know what? You had something happen on the swim or on the bike. You made an attempt. I think there are still all positive pieces as we go into that stuff.
I agree. And what's the atmosphere like on race morning once everyone gathers at George Wyth State Park?
Yeah, I think it's pretty chatty. It's there's some energy. It's not a crazy over the top energy. People are staying kind of focused. They recognize this is a tough thing, but it's also a group of athletes that really do cheer each other on. And that part I love.
I love it too.
And I kind of like how some of the seasoned people help shepherd the beginners and give the advice, and it's a really neat piece. You can tell people are kind of mentally preparing themselves, getting ready for the challenge. And but once the whistle goes or once that water hits, they're focused and they're ready to do their thing, and they're all pretty confident.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Finally, for listeners sitting on the fence right now, why is this the year to sign up, join a relay team, and experience the YMCA triathlon firsthand? Yeah,
I think, again, it's a great first step, so even if you feel you're deconditioned on something, man, I wish I could do well, but the team relay, that's an opportunity not to do all three, but I think I could contribute and do one of these. And I don't have to be great at it. I just have to find a couple other people that might have those bucket list type things. And again, the atmosphere here is fantastic. It's a sprint triathlon. You can still have a job and still have a life and still train. I think those are all pieces that it's health and well-being is all about being a part of your lifestyle, not dominating your lifestyle. And I think that this event here really helps prepare you for just competing the event.
I agree wholeheartedly. Now, that class that began last night with Penny, are there any openings in that class or no?
Nope, there are. There's still 5 openings in that class. You can get through there. There's still opportunity to still do that. And I would say even if we had 5 people sign up today, we might find another couple openings, or she might sweet talk me into helping her out to help support some other people. So
there you go.
Again, I think that's just kind of how we roll. We want to make sure that we are helping people to become a little bit stronger in their, because it can be apprehensive to go through that. So and again, every year I see somebody who started that class. They're into triathlon and they do so well.
It's beautiful.
I just think that is, I think that's a cool moment for the YMCA.
I do too. Last year they were up on the podium. They won.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, 233-3531 is the number to call the Y. 233-3531, and just say, hey, I want to get in Penny's class, sign up and you'll get in. That's so exciting. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, again, I think, as we talk about everything the YMCA provides, it's hopefully there's a little more clarity that, again, we are far more in a gym and swim. Now, as a gym and swim, that's incredibly important to us. We, our health and well-being, we recognize we'll be a better citizen, a better person, will feel stronger and be more capable in what we do. But we're also going to help bring somebody else along with us when we do those things. And I think that's the cool part of what we do at the YMCA.
Exactly. And you want to save almost $100? Get on my website right now at iowacorncountry.com. You could be winning free entry to the triathlon.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So get on iowacorncountry.com, and I'll be announcing those winners early July, so you have time to get in more shape once you win.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much, Norm. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's an honor always. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a great one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. See you at the triathlon.